Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for yet another match preview by myself, but also by my brother, by my partner in crime, Mr. Carefree Lewis G. Bro, how you doing?
I'm good. What are you saying, man?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to this. As much as, whenever the FA Cup happens, it's kind of a bit of a, it's not downer in a sense, but I'm not as gassed for it unless we play a big team as I am for the Prem. So, we have to hype ourselves up a little bit. But after Thomas Tuchel's press conference today, I am a little bit more excited for it. He told me some good things that I like to hear. Just a few players will be playing that we haven't seen in a little while and that I'm just excited for, to see. Obviously, we have a fair few things to discuss, whether it's Kai Havertz's fitness, Thomas Tuchel's, basically almost marriage proposal, wedding proposal, whatever, to N'Golo Kante. That's how much he praised him, basically. Confirming that Hakim Ziyech will start the whole relocating or relocation of the Atletico versus Chelsea game, the first leg. So there's a lot to talk about today, a lot to talk about. Dammy, the Grand Dam, should be joining us in a little bit, just once his stream has finished. He should be hopping on here, so that's obviously sick. And if you're new here, ladies and gentlemen, or if you're watching this later on, whether, like I said, live right now, or later on as a video, be sure to subscribe and smash the like button. That'd be massively appreciated. And of course, subscribe to Lewis. His link is down in the description. Just click his ads down in the description below and subscribe to him. That will take you straight to his channel. But, bro, Lewis, obviously taking on Barnsley. It's not that long ago that we actually last played them. And last time we played them, they first of all had an Austrian manager. They don't anymore. And we battered them, what was it, 6-0 or something?
Yeah, and the cup third round.
Exactly.
Yeah, Barnsley, they got smoked. And I'm hoping it's the same front too, but Havertz don't look like he's playing, so we can forget about another stat pad sesh.
Exactly. That was the time when Mr. Kai Havertz scored a hat-trick and, we was all gassed. Since then, certainly not worked out so well for him. Obviously, for a little bit until he caught, a certain thing. But after that, it was what was a bit of a struggle. Will they be exactly as easy to beat as they were last time out? Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. But what will be interesting is the Chelsea side of things, because obviously, this is not news to anybody. Thomas Tuchel is now in charge. It's not Frank Lampard anymore. And we've already played 4 games under him. Out of those 4, we've already being in the Premier League, we've picked up 10 out of 12 points. But there's been a few players that haven't really gotten a lot of game time. You've got Kante, Hakim Ziyech, Kepa, Kurt Zouma. Emerson hasn't played a single minute. Billy Gilmour hasn't played a single minute. So there's a lot of players that we will probably be seeing, which we haven't seen a lot from. What we will do actually today is talk through the team, find a, especially once Dammy is here, we'll kind of, the three of us will talk through the team that we think will play, and, we'll get a little, ticker across the bottom and, get everything on, because it's really interesting. As much as, obviously I used to do the Previews and Blues Fans TV, and then I always try to pick my team, and then I always try to predict whatever the manager was going to do. And it's tough. It's tough. So it is interesting and exciting to see now. And obviously we were streaming on Lewis's channel earlier, and we're speaking a lot about the whole Kepa situation. Will he be given another chance, as Matt Law in his article hinted at? Will be interesting. It will certainly be interesting. But I guess the first topic that we will talk about, because I know that Dammy already spoke about it on his channel, but you and me haven't, Lewis. Maybe the first thing we should talk about is the fact that our game against Atletico Madrid has been relocated to Bucharest in Romania, rather than, where it was meant to be in Madrid, in the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium that Atletico Madrid only built a few years ago. At this moment in time, the second leg is still happening at Stamford Bridge. I wouldn't 100% take their word for that will stay like that, because we're playing that game obviously 2 weeks later. And obviously if we asked the UEFA 2 weeks ago, they would have said the game in Madrid will go ahead in Madrid, not in Bucharest. So I'm not 100% on that yet. Obviously at this stage, that is the information we have, but I wouldn't be 1,000% guaranteeing on it. But just assuming that we will actually play the second game in London, but the first game in Bucharest instead of Madrid, do you think that changes much? Or do you think it won't really make much of a difference in terms of how the games go?
The only real difference that we got in this is that Atletico Madrid have to travel further than we do. I think that's like an hour extra travel compared to 3.5 extra hours for Madrid. That's what I basically heard from somebody, but I haven't checked the flight details myself. But other than that, I don't really see what difference it makes. I don't really believe there's much of a home advantage this season anyway. There's no fans to create that home advantage. The biggest advantage that you got is a pitch probably most suited to your style of play when you're playing at home. Other than that, there's not really going to make too much of a difference to it. It's still going to be one 90-minute game, and both teams are going to be up for it.
Yeah, for sure. It's a weird one because obviously there's no such home advantage due to fans, but I do think it makes a little bit of a difference when you're in comfortable surroundings. Um, Especially in Europe, I think that makes a bit of a difference in the sense of because even in the Prem, you've played in pretty much every of these grounds before, so it's not like it's completely new to you unless you're a new player. Obviously, now we have a new manager who doesn't know any away ground either. But in general, I think at least as long as you know the surroundings, I think that plays a bit of a difference. So you could argue it's a little bit better than would we play in Madrid. I don't know. But it's interesting that they had to relocate it. Obviously, they had to relocate a number of games. They had to relocate their Leipzig against Liverpool game. There's been another game that was relocated. I forgot which one it was, but they relocated another game to Budapest as well. And it's just interesting, this, in all honesty. Like, it's just the way the world is right now, you're just slightly questioning why we're playing intercontinental championships. Like, not sure whether it's, that's the best idea, quite frankly. I don't know. Maybe we should just be doing a tournament at the end of the season again, like they did last year. I don't know. Hopefully everything goes well, ideally. And
but they've got to rush. We're being rushed anyway to make the Euros. That's why the whole season's so packed right now.
Exactly. That's the thing.
As well. So they won't do that. The only way of doing that is if you literally cut out pre-season and you just say, yeah, you lot can play after the Euros. But number one, you're going to absolutely torch these players by the start of next season. And then number two, what's going to happen in the case of transfers? Let's say we get Haaland from Dortmund. I'm just going to throw that out there. What happens? Is he still playing for Dortmund till the end of the season? Is he coming to Chelsea to help Tuchel win the Champions League? What's happening? So, I understand why we're doing it, but same way this entire season is going to be a mess. There's always going to be so many holes in this.
Yeah, no, it'd really be like that. But someone did put the question in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, if you want to make sure that we see your chat message, don't hesitate to use the super chat function. Of course, you don't have to, but if you want to make sure that I see your message, because there will be more and more people joining, and then it becomes more and more difficult to actually see individual chat messages. So, because we don't have spamming here. So, spamming won't make me see it. It might make me see it, but I definitely won't read it out. So, just know. Spamming is not the thing. Spamming is not the thing, people. But do we have a chance against Atletico Madrid? Of course, I will do a preview ahead of this. Actually, I've already got my preview for Atletico planned, which is a bit crazy. But I'm doing that with Matisse and Alex, Euro expert, because the man told me he's got some good information on Atletico Madrid. I'm like, sounds smart. I'm gonna have him on. So
he played
of course,
smart. He messaged me as well.
Exactly. We will have a good preview for that. But just quickly, do you think we stand a chance now that we have Tuchel and things are going a bit better, or do you still see us as the strong, outsiders, considering Atletico Madrid are like top of La Liga, 10 points clear with like 1 or 2 games in hand, which is still crazy?
I think in 90 minutes we definitely have a chance. The only thing is just being clinical, and I still don't know if we're that clinical as a team right now. So that's my only big question mark. But defensively, if Thiago Silva's back, I'll be a lot more confident. Maybe if we bring Kurt Zouma back into the lineup as well, because I've said we've lost a lot of aerial ability without him in the side. And yeah, other than that, it'll be an interesting match because I want to see how Tuchel breaks him down. But I can't deep too much into it. I think the Southampton game is going to be a big example for me of how we're going to play this game, because I want to see how we play against a team that gives us a strong game and also has the good players for it. Sheffield United gave us the best game out of everyone that we played, but same way they're also bottom in the bottom of the league for a reason, because they make stupid mistakes like the one they made as soon as they equalised, just passed the ball straight to Werner. So I want to see what we're like for Southampton, but we know this run of games is easy. That's why I'm not getting too gassed, because that's exactly what we did in the Lampard unbeaten run. I'm going to take it for what it is. We're playing really well. Let's see what happens by Atletico Madrid. But I've got no reason to think we can't get a win.
Yeah, no, I agree. Chester's in the chat, by the way. Big up yourself. As you can see, the little badge next to his name, that's because he's a member of the channel. If you do want to become a member as well, that's the join button underneath. Obviously, all the details are there. Just, find that out. But anyways, Chester did say that Atletico have 3 players out with, the certain thing. I don't know which those 3 players are. So I swear 6 players out, proper said. Well, either of you, put it in the chat happily, which 3 or 6 of those that is, because I actually didn't know about this so far. Obviously, it depends on, won't they be back fit by then, depending on obviously when they caught it, right? Because it still is nearly 2 weeks until we play them. Like yesterday, it's 2 weeks. So, realistically, they should be back. But I guess we'll see. And I guess that brings us on to talking about the FA Cup tomorrow, because, let's not waste too much of a breath. Obviously we'll see what they guys. Oh, there we have it. Hermoso, Lamar, others, and others. And João Felix as well. Well, if João Felix can't play.
I think I had the list of names on here. It was meant to be João Felix, Moussa Dembele, Thomas Lamar, Yannick Carrasco, Hector Herrera, and Mario Hermoso.
Yeah, fair. I mean, if they're still out by then, that is certainly an advantage to us. But hey, let's wait and see. But I guess, let's get into talking about Barnsley tomorrow in the FA Cup. In what is it, the 5th round?
Yeah, 5th round.
Yeah. And if we win, are we already in the quarterfinal? Or is it the round of 16?
Yes. No, round of 16, No, this is the round of 16, I think. Yeah, this is the round of 16. Next round's the quarterfinals, and then round after that's Wembley.
All right. Well, then there you go. So that makes it a little bit bigger. As much as, Barnsley are only a championship side, it still makes a big game, because at the end of the day, we're not that far away from winning a trophy. And as much as it's still disappointing that we couldn't under Frank Lampard, if we can this season under Thomas Tuchel, I'll still be gassed. Just to get the table up in the championship, of course.
I still think we can. Like right now, well, we're in the running for 2.5 trophies. I say a half. I need Man City to slip up a little bit first. But everything's up for grabs this season, and I've said that, and I still stand by that, because this entire season is a mess, and it's ridiculously unpredictable, because teams can't play to their full potential because they're having games nearly every 3 days. So we're seeing shocks and teams slipping everywhere. So hopefully, if we can capitalize on it enough times, you never know where we could be. Man City look mad right now, but with the way the season's gone, you mean to tell me there's not a chance they might slip up a few times? Like, I've seen crazy things happen, They're
it's just a question of
a really good team. They probably will win the league, but anything can happen. Anything can happen this season at the very least, because it is competitive.
Yeah, it's true. It's just a question of, will City slip up enough? Because they do already have not a super healthy gap, but a little bit of a gap. To us especially, but also to Liverpool and even Man United, because City have a game in hand over Man United. But in terms of Barnsley, they're obviously a championship side. They currently sit 13th in the championship, so perfectly in the middle of the table. Obviously, the championship having 2014.
Clear of Luton, who we just played.
Clear of who?
2 points clear of Luton, who we just played in the last round.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Interestingly, the last game was postponed. Is that due to the Rona? Probably. But they didn't play the last game, apparently. Not sure why. Haven't done that research, I will say. If anyone knows in the chat, put it in the chat.
Oh, no, Barnsley are suddenly a bit more fresh than we are. I'm so shook. I'm so shook.
Exactly. Their recent results haven't been awful.
Lose. I just shouldn't have said that.
No, you definitely shouldn't have said that, bro.
Here's what it is. We moved.
They got a 0-0 draw against Forest, 2-2 draw against Cardiff, beat Norwich, but lost to Watford.
Waterlogged pitch. Okay, cool.
Waterlogged pitch. Well, still, I guess, at the end of the day, they will be a little bit fresher than ourselves. Jester's putting it in the chat. Are you watching Swansea v Man City, Mark Way, best young talent?
Is it now?
Don't think so. If so, that's an L from us to go live now. They're going.
Wouldn't be much other people live. That's good. I mean, I'm just going to have that on the background.
Yeah. In 7 minutes. In 7 minutes, they're kicking off. And it's our team, by the way.
Boss, let's go.
Exactly. We will get through our teams that what we are expecting in just a little bit. Don't worry. But in general, where do you think the team stands right now? Obviously, we've done really well in the last few games. We're expecting a lot of rotation. Thomas Tuchel has confirmed that. Obviously, I know Lewis probably hasn't watched the press conference, but just to let me run you guys through it, he basically, like I said, he praised N'Golo Kante so much. I was thinking any of these seconds now, he's going to make him a marriage proposal. But not in a bad way, just in a good way. He praised him like crazy. He said, he's wanted him for all these years. And, he's so excited. And even when he came on against Tottenham, the fact he hasn't played for weeks and has barely trained with the rest of the team to do so well. And then another step better, when he came on, obviously, against Sheffield United and how great he is and this and that. And then again, talking about the fact that his best position is as a double six, but he can also do it as a single six. And if need be, in a midfield three. It's all very interesting. And What do you make of the whole Kante situation? Obviously, Tuchel rates him very highly, but where do you see him fitting in our midfield? Presumably while playing a two-man midfield. How do you think that will happen?
Well, playing a two-man midfield, it's a bit of a sticky one. I think you'd have to take Kovacic out of a midfield too if you're going to put him in, because Jorginho has to stay. Kovacic and Kante are too similar, and I've said that way too many times. It's only Kante offers a lot in his defensive side of the game, whereas Mateo Kovacic offers a lot more in, I'd say, the attacking side. But I'm still saying he could be just that bit more better in the final third, and then it would be like he was one of the best centre backs and centre mids in the league. That's the only thing that separates him, just his final output in general. But as a ball progressor, I'd say he's over N'Golo Kante, but he doesn't offer defensively what Kante does. And I think Kante progressively is good enough that he's not hindering us in that side of the game anyway, because he's good at bringing the ball forward. He's a good dribbler. People really underrate that side of his game. He is good at it. It's just the final ball isn't great as well. But the same thing with Mateo Kovacic. Sometimes the final ball isn't great as well. Mm-hmm. So I think N'Golo Kante just offers you more in general. So I'd go N'Golo Kante and Jorginho together.
See, I will do that as
understanding. Like Jorginho and Kovacic's understanding of each other is next level. That's half the reason why Kante struggled getting back into the side last season. But if Tuchel rates him as much as he does, he's getting back into that lineup. And if he's getting back into that lineup, it's probably Kovacic that's coming out of the lineup right now. Maybe if we switch formations, if we play 4 at the back, it'll be a different question. But I'm thinking based on the formations that we've been playing the last few games. And Kovacic is the one that probably drops out.
Yeah, it's weird because Jorginho was extremely good against Burnley and against Tottenham. I thought against Sheffield United he struggled quite a bit more, while Kovacic was still brilliant. And the problem is this: when teams sit deep, the way that Tuchel today confessed his love for Kante. If Kante is fit and other than making sure he doesn't get injured, I think Kante will start more often than not. And then Kante is just not as press resistant as Kovacic is. Like, let's be honest here. If we have a combination of Kante and Jorginho, our midfield isn't that press. Jorginho is press resistant in terms of passing, but in terms of when he has to dribble his way out of it, that's when he starts to struggle. I spoke about this with Dan McCarthy a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but does he always, under Tuchel, has he been caught out in that position where he has to dribble out of it, or is there always an option for him? Because that's the thing with Jorginho, you don't usually lose the ball too much with him, but under Lampard, the system didn't suit him, and it just left him massively exposed. The same thing with N'Golo Kante when we faced a team with decent press. But there's ways around that. It all depends on the system in general.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I thought against Sheffield United, he was caught out like that a few times when out of nowhere he had 2 men on him and he couldn't get the pass off quickly enough and lost possession.
I will say that, yeah, first 20 minutes, but I think that's as a team. As a team, we really didn't start that game well enough, but we grew into it. Half the reasons as well is because Jorginho and Kovacic started getting a bit more control in the midfield as well. But we were really struggling in transitions, and when Sheffield United were countering us as well.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. That's all I'm saying. Where it's a weird one because I don't think we have an ideal midfield 2 partnership. That's kind of what I was trying to get at.
Yeah,
I don't
we need that destroyer in our team anyway. Like that's the one. We said that in the last stream as well. The one thing I want out of all the little holes that we need to fill in the team is we need a tall, natural DM. Someone who's imposing, someone who's a destroyer, someone who will just break up play and be able to ping a pass around as well, but is tall enough to deal with the press and tall enough not to get out-muscled as well. That's what we're kind of missing, and we really should have gone for Party in the real sense of things, but it is what it is. Lampard wanted Rice, so we move. That's the one thing we need in the summer, though. That's what we're going to lack with for the rest of the season, unless we want to try Christensen in DM or Zouma in DM. But I already said, if you want to talk about press resistance, like Zouma, it's a sticky one still. Christensen as well, but he's got the technical ability to play the ball. So I think he can find a pass as well.
Yeah.
Zouma, I just don't trust him under a press.
No.
Looks a lot more composed in the last few games.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, if any of our centre backs has to play DM, I mean, personally, I think it probably should be Thiago Silva, if anything.
Yeah. That's a brilliant idea in itself.
But to be honest, I'm personally not the biggest fan as a big club to play centre backs as a DM, because I still think as much as they're good and, Christensen would do okay, he wouldn't do it. He, in my opinion, he'd be worse than all of our current options there. Like
as a long DM?
As any DM.
Okay, go on. Talk to me.
Like I said, he will win you a few more headers, which is a good, situation to be in. But other than that, the way we play, I don't think we need a Christensen in there. Like, because it's not like Christensen is so crazily similar to Declan Rice. Like, it's different when you've played. I know he's obviously played at DM for Denmark quite a few times, but it's still not quite the same thing. I'm not even saying Christensen is incapable of doing this. I still don't think he's as good as like a, Kovacic, Jorginho, Kante, Gilmour.
I don't think he'd be a long-term DM option either, but I'm just thinking we're looking at options to fit a profile of a certain DM, and we don't have any options. Maybe he's the best option we have. That's what it looks more like, at least until the end of the season. Obviously, that's why I'm saying summer, go and get an actual natural DM, because that's the whole thing we've been lacking.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. It's a weird one, because if you think about it, like I touched on already, I don't think any of our midfield 2 partnerships are perfect. Like, I don't think Kante Kovacic is perfect. I don't think Kante Jorginho is perfect. And I definitely don't think Kovacic Kante is perfect. And then you have Billy Gilmour to add into there, or possibly in the future a Mason Mount, although that doesn't seem to be that much in Tuchel's plans, at least judging by the first 4 games in charge, right? So obviously we will probably go after a DM, whether that's, Rice or Tonali, as Artina's just put in the chat, or I don't know, Zakaria or Marquinhos, who of course has been playing as a DM at PSG quite a lot under Tuchel until Thiago Silva left. Who knows, right? Who knows what that will bring? But what Thomas Tuchel did confirm yesterday, and by the way, Jesters, I didn't miss your chat message earlier. I mean, we will get to our predicted teams, and then I will get that. I'll put it in the chat again later. But what Thomas Tuchel confirmed today is that N'Golo Kante will start. He did confirm that he will start. The same goes for Hakim Ziyech. And I guess that brings us on to, before getting through the team, because I want to have Damian for that. Hopefully he joins us soon. What do you expect from the game in general? Like, obviously, they will probably sit back. But last time we played them, they did try to do a little bit about it. Do you know what I mean? But then they also had a different manager. So we have to probably take that into consideration. They did have a different manager when we last played them. So they might be more defensive now than they, were back then. But they certainly did try to, cause a few troubles, and did, especially in the first 10, 15 minutes. I remember they were so much more aggressive in the press than I ever thought they would be. And we had 1 or 2 troubles with it. So what do you expect tomorrow? Obviously, we all expect us to win, right? But what do you expect, like, just from the team? Do you expect us to change the formation, first of all, and then from the rest of the team as well?
It's weird, because it's not that I expect us to change the formation, because I still think we're probably going to go with 3 at the back. But it would make sense to, and no way Gabriel Jesus already popped up with an injury. But yeah, the same thing for this match. Like, we only have 3 fit centre-backs, don't we? So it doesn't make sense to throw them all out and potentially risk an injury against Barnsley. So I think it makes more sense to go to a back 4. But we played with a back 3 for so long, I feel like we probably still will go with a back 3. But Tuchel's flexible. It makes sense if we switch to a back 4. I haven't really thought too much about formation I'd go for, but I would like to see a back 4 just so we can preserve one of the centre-backs. So also, if the problem with Zouma is he don't work in a back 3, it allows us to integrate Zouma into the team, because it'll be a back 2. Probably Zouma and Rudiger, in my opinion. If anyone takes the rest, is Christensen. He's our only real ball-playing centre-back that we have now, and you're not going to want to risk him against Barnsley unless you're playing 3 at the back. So if 3 at the back happens, I think Christensen starts. 2 at the back, it will be Zouma and Rudiger.
Yeah, no, probably. I mean, Scott seems to be a Barnsley fan, the way he worded that comment, saying we won't sit back. I doubt it. We will just go at you, even though it won't work. Our press is better, though. So from the sounds of things,
sounds like a Barnsley fan.
Exactly. I mean, big up for giving your thoughts, innit? Big up. I'm praying Kepa stars who might actually have a chance.
Up the Barnsley, but we're giving you revenge for 2008, where you killed my childhood along with Man United.
Exactly. Alonso at striker by Ted Walker. That's one interesting shout. But I guess because I don't know when exactly Dammy will be here, and
he's still streaming right now.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure he'll jump on as soon as he's done. But let me just go with. If I could type, that would help, wouldn't it? Now. So, who do you think will start in goal, Kepa or Mendy?
It'll probably be Kepa, especially with the reports now coming out that Chelsea really want to try and give Kepa one more chance. I have no reason why, but other than trying to up his transfer valuation fee, but it sounds like we actually want to do this as a long-term thing, which it don't make any sense to me, but whatever. Kepa's going to start. We move.
Yeah, no, he
Might
probably
be a
will.
partner, you never know, but it'll be the redemption arc to end all redemption arcs.
Exactly. I do think, personally, that we will play a back four because I think Thomas Tuchel will use it as a game to try, because I'm 95% sure that long-term he will prefer a back four to a back three. And I think tomorrow will be a game where he starts using it more, because obviously in the Premier League, I think the reason why he's used it is because obviously he needed to shore us up a little bit, the way with the counter press. If his counter pressing idea doesn't work so well, to have a little bit of security behind that. I think that was part of the idea. So I think he will probably try the back four tomorrow. And hence why obviously you said Rudiger and Zouma. I think that's a good shout. I think he might give Rudiger a rest. I'm not sure. Zouma definitely starts, right? Zouma definitely starts. It's just a question.
Rudiger needs another game to prove himself after that howler in the last match. That was the thing I liked about Lampard as well. Players would have howlers and then they'd still play their next match. You'd be like, okay, you better have that game on your head and give me the game of your life after that. Christensen, as an example, Liverpool red card, was back for the next game against West Brom anyway. Everyone would have been screaming bench Christensen. He was our best centre-back that game.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, really. I spoke about this with Dan, obviously, last time out, and he gave me an interesting shout. He said this has actually happened a few times that we nearly conceded an own goal when there was a miscommunication between Mendy and one of the centre-backs. And he said he would actually put slightly more blame on Mendy rather than Rudiger in that situation, because Mendy is the one that can see the entire pitch. And I said to him, are you sure it's not just a situation that Mendy did shout and Rudiger didn't listen? He said, yeah, that's an option. But he sees that as less likely than Mendy not shouting. Which, if you put it that way...
If you're trying to get rid of the ball, you get rid of it with confidence. You don't second-guess yourself, because then you don't hear it with the same connection. You hear it weakly, and it rolls into the back of the net when you didn't even aim to do that in the first place.
No, I think he tried to pass it back to Mendy. I think that was the idea.
If anything, I might just get the highlights up on here as well.
Yeah, get that up, because I'm pretty sure he tried to pass it back to Mendy, but by the time he tried to, Mendy had come out of his goal and wasn't there anymore. And that's when he just passed it into an empty goal. That's kind of...
I'm just what this ad is going in 3, 2, 1. All right, duck out.
I mean, Mr. DOC, whatever, sorry, your name's long to pronounce, saying that it's 100% of Rudiger's fault. No, that fair. I'm not even 100% saying you're wrong.
This looks so terrible, man. He's actually got nobody around him. He could even play that to the left-hand side.
He could,
then try clear it. He had space. Nah, I can't be honest. That's pissed me off just looking at it again.
But what I will say about Rudiger, though, is I think other than that moment, I actually think it was really good.
Oh, yeah, like, if anything, it re-energized. He was like, nah, fuck this up. Now I've got to make it up. He was brilliant after that. He was decent before that. I'm not going to sit here and say he was excellent the whole game. He was decent before the mistake, brilliant afterwards. Same way. Bit of a howler, though. We're lucky Sheffield United absolutely bottled it as soon as they got the equaliser.
That is true.
That game was a struggle. That was a real struggle.
I mean, so you make a fair point that maybe he needs that another game to prove himself.
The thing with most of our centre-backs, though, they've always had these moments where they've cost us, or they nearly did cost us. I've said Kurt Zouma's had an amazing season for a centre-back, but I guarantee you, if Lo Celso had better decision-making in the final third in the 90th minute, there'd be such a big question mark on him the last 3 months. But the only reason why
hasn't outright cost us a game. He was lucky Lo Celso had dead decision making. Christensen's had to fight back the expectation nearly every Chelsea fan since that Liverpool game. And even that Aston Villa mistake where he was actually injured. And then, what's his name? Rudiger's had this one as well. He's got to come back from this. But that's why we've said all three of our centre-backs, they've always looked good in phases.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Look, about all three of them. Like, I say all I want to say with the Christensen agenda and thing. I've always said Christensen's a great squad player. Like, I understand why Zouma starts over him. He complements Silva 10 times more. I understand why Thiago Silva starts because he's just straight up better in every aspect. But I've said the agenda that's on him the last 3 or 4 months has been absolutely disgraceful by some of the Chelsea fans. Very weak and all that. The guy's got, 76% aerial duels won this season? But he can't do anything in the air. Come on now. There's dead debates the whole time. Oh, John Terry said he was weak. John Terry was wrong. I don't want to hear it.
I mean, I will say this, though. Christensen maybe wins a large majority of his aerial duels, but he does have a tendency to lose the important ones.
Any recent ones?
He does have the tendency to not be in the aerial duel when a cross comes into the box. That has happened, in my opinion, too many times. He isn't even in the aerial duel.
Last season, I'll be real, he ended the season on a really bad note. Like, there was a couple of games, a Palace game, he definitely looked out of it. West Ham, he was more or less saved by the fact that Rudiger had an even worse performance than he did, but no one really notices the Christensen disaster class. But he had good games as well. I thought he was good in the cup final. I thought he was brilliant against Manchester City. Hell, even Manchester City, people are saying he's the one that cost us the cup final. No, he's not. He's the one that stopped Bellerin. No one noticed Rudiger running 30 yards ahead, breaking the entire defensive line just to get nutmegged by Bellerin at the halfway point. Kurt Zouma his mistake. Kurt Zouma was in a 2-on-1 situation because Christensen was injured 30 yards off the pitch and Antonio Rudiger was still recovering off being nutmegged in the middle of the park. He was screwed regardless. They either lay it off to Lacazette or it's Aubameyang who's doing him on the other side. Could have done better on the 1v1, but Aubameyang's a quality forward anyway. It is what it is. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. What Justice did say there about Zouma, I think Zouma looks worse than he actually is. I will say that. Zouma, because of his size and of his frame, looks unorthodox and looks weird and looks like he can't do it, but actually he's not actually that bad. I'm not saying he's that good under pressure. Under pressure, no. But I think in general, I think he's a little bit underrated. I'm not saying he's as good as Christensen at it. I'm saying he's a little bit underrated in the terms. But because obviously initially you said you think Rudiger obviously needs a game to prove that was a howler or that was a one-off. Let's be honest. In terms of what Tuchel will do, Rudiger 1,000% starts against Newcastle on Monday anyway. So realistically, tomorrow's game won't have an impact on that. Even whether he starts or not, he will start against Newcastle. Let's be honest, right? Especially with Thiago Silva still being injured at that point. Hence why I think Christensen hasn't played as much as Rudiger. Hence why I would say if we go back 4, I think Christensen and Zouma together probably. Do you not think that's more likely than Rudiger?
In a back 4?
Yeah.
You think Christensen over Rudiger?
Yeah. Just for rotational purposes, not because he picks that as his main team.
No, to be fair, we got 5 subs in the cup anyway, so I wouldn't be too far against it. We should be done with Barnsley by half time if we're being honest about it.
Should be. I think
in that case, you could just take Christensen off in mind for the rest games. So I wouldn't even mind. I think Christensen works in the back too. If anything, I want to see this performance as well, so we can dispel another Andreas Christensen myth. Even though it is against Barnsley, but I want to see a good performance.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. But I guess that's the centre back too, and I guess the most tricky one is probably the left back because Chilwell, he could probably do with the game against the Barnsley, build some more confidence up, and that obviously Alonso doesn't play. I guess it's just between Emerson and Chilwell. But you know what else this is about? It's about the man that's just joined us, Mr. the Grand Dam. Mr. Dammy in the house, Mr. Bombastical Dammy, or whatever his nickname is these days. Bro, how are you? Good to see you.
Oh, listen. Man is in the cut, you understand, with the homeboy Carlton Banks, and you understand. I need to come up with a name for Laurenz as well. What do you man think Laurenz look like? Do you man give me like a reference? Lewis, do you have any ideas? I'm not going to call him by his name anymore. I need to give him like a unique sort of thing. Man is looking like maybe, I don't know.
I don't even know. Like, we've had comparisons before, but it's been a minute still. Hey, you lot in the comment section though. This is your time.
The biggest one I had was always Marco van Ginkel. That's the one I always got.
Van Ginkel.
Yeah, I've even been photoshopped into Van Ginkel pictures.
I've
changed my hair since then. That's why people are not really saying it for a while, but you know what I mean.
But anyways, we're out here. Apologies, I'm slightly late. My guests overran by quite a bit of time. So but man is here now. Do you know what I'm saying? We're out here smiling. I see people calling me positivity merchant in the chat. We out here. I'm knackered. As you my hair is a mess, fam. You can see my hair follicles are all over.
You want to talk about messy hair? Why do you think I've been wearing a hat the last 2 weeks?
Clark, literally is mad. Man literally is at work and everything is all over the shop. But hey, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here.
Exactly. Oh, what we touched on earlier, I saw you were talking about that with Zach on your channel, hence why I thought people have already heard your thoughts on it. We were touching on the relocating of obviously the Chelsea-Atletico game, or Atletico-Chelsea game rather. Yeah. And then we just touched on what Tuchel said in the press conference about how much he loves N'Golo Kante, almost making him a bloody marriage proposal. And obviously the fact that he confirmed that Ziyech will start. And since then, we've just started to slowly go through our predicted teams, our predicted 11 or whatever, that were kind of going to come up as initially 2 and now as a 3. And do you reckon we'll go to a 4 at the back? Because I think we will for this one.
I mean, the thing is, I was speaking to Zach and he felt like we might keep the same thing formation, but I was just saying that I think he said, in fairness, he did say we might also change it up. I think we will change up tomorrow. I think Tuchel is going to actually give it a go and see what we can do differently this time around. Obviously, in recent times, we've gone up against a lot of teams that obviously I have respect for people that play. You can play whatever football you like, but Wolves, Tottenham, these might not play some really defensive football. They play extremely defensive football. Big up to Melinda as well. But they play extremely defensive football, and we had to adapt in a very short space of time. I strongly feel we use that at the back formation in order to combat us having to work on defensive structure too much, because by nature of having 3 centre-backs, that's obviously going to give you a lot of protection. So I think tomorrow might be the first time we actually experiment with a different formation. I don't see us going with a 3 at the back against Atletico Madrid. We might, but that's Champions League setting. So I think Tuchel is working towards that. We're probably going to see something like of a 4. The thing is, with Tuchel, I can't tell you what happens after the first line of the 4 defenders. Because Tuchel can come in with a 4-2-2-2. He can come in with a 4-3-3. Does the occasional 4-2-3-1, which I don't think we're going to see, but maybe tomorrow might be 4-3-3 settings. You understand, with Ziyech on the right-hand side or playing as one of the cams in between. But bottom line is, I do think we're going to change up our formation tomorrow so we can look at games like Newcastle and we can look at games like Southampton, because those two, Newcastle, yeah, they do sort of pack the bus at the end of the day, but Southampton is a changing game. And I know that they've lost their last 5 games at the end of the thing, but we need to start looking towards the big settings. From the 20th of February to the 20th of March, I call that Hell's Gate. You understand? That is, we're stepping into hell, because every single opponent we have during that time frame, they are top.
Every demon's getting smoked by Thomas Tuchel's treble-stealing Blue Army. You already know.
Treble-stealing. I like that. I like that. Man, call them treble.
Come on. I love that.
Aim for the heavens, and if you don't, you're around the stars. You already know.
Treble stealing Blues. That is a phenomenal thing to go back. I don't know with tricky Blues, isn't it? If we actually win the treble, big up to Lewis as well.
We called it.
I will build you a bloody statue. You know how there was all the statue, the Barnsley in the summer. You know, a man's better than Lewis, his own statue. Like, do you know what I mean? If we win the bloody treble, and no one's tearing that shit down. I'm telling you. But as for the centre back too, I said I think Zouma Christensen is most likely, because Rudiger's obviously played all of the last 4. Probably give him a little rest. And Thiago Silva is out anyway. So if we go with the back 4, would you say Christensen and Zouma is the most likely centre-back partnership, Demi?
Christensen and Zouma, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something we could possibly see. I think it's something we could see Tuchel definitely needs to get him involved a bit more, Christensen, because at the end of the day, I know it's the AC hype, and I've obviously taken the mick out of it a few times, but Christensen is a good defender. Do you know what I'm saying? He's a good defender, but like I keep repeating, I don't think there's anybody on this planet. I don't even think Ruben Dias could actually step into Chelsea's back line and do the job Thiago Silva is doing for us. He also saw his post about wanting to play football to 40 years old. His mentality is top notch. The only person I can probably think of...
Longevity's there too, damn right.
Pardon?
I was saying his longevity's there too as well. He will last all that area. Exactly.
But we also need to manage him properly. That's what I knew. Him getting injured was sort of inevitable. I was just not going to read. I was not ready to have that conversation. But him getting injured at this age is something that is bound to happen. He's 36 years old and he's playing in the top flight of the English Premier League, one of the most aggressive, fast-paced and technical leagues in the whole world. So this sort of thing was expected. So definitely, Christensen is definitely someone I'd like to see in the starting next side tomorrow. You can bring Zouma back into the cocktail. So I haven't seen too much of him. We've obviously seen Rudiger, 7 clean sheets in his last 11 appearances for Chelsea. That's probably the reason why we aren't seeing too much of Zouma at the end of the day. But yeah, to answer your question shortly, I think Christensen and Zouma should be starting tomorrow. Let's get some form of, I wouldn't say chemistry per se, but let them keep building on their, chemistry. Call it chemistry.
Exactly, because it's, for me, realistically, I think against Newcastle, I reckon we'll probably go back to a 3. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but I think it's more likely, and Rudiger definitely starts, no matter whether it's a 3 or a 4. So that's why I think, Zouma definitely will start. I mean, Tuchel touched on it. There will be players that haven't really been picked so far will play tomorrow. So, Zouma is kind of a guaranteed, I think, and then it's just about who plays next to him. But what I was just touching on as you joined is who starts at left back? Who starts at left back? Because I made a case of Chilwell could probably do with another game, find some more confidence. And we all know that left back, he's significantly better at, more experienced at than a left wing back. But you could also make a case for Emerson, who obviously hasn't played a single minute so far. So, Lewis, what do you make of that one? Who would you go for at left back? Or do you think Tuchel will go for at left back?
I do think Emerson would be a nice option because he has said everyone's getting a chance. So it makes sense that Emerson would be given this opportunity because it don't make sense he gets given any other ones. Maybe Ben Chilwell as well because he does also need a game to get back into form. This would be an easy game to do that with. But it'd be one of them two. I don't see Alonso starting this game. He doesn't need to. Unless we do play a 3 at the back and none of us think that's happening anyway. So I'd go Emerson.
Okay, what about yourself, Tammy?
The thing with Emerson is I just don't see him having too much of a career at this club anymore. Do you know what I mean? I don't really see it happening. I don't think he's going to actually come out here and do too much. So I don't know how much Tuchel is going to change up tomorrow because as much as we're going up against Barnsley, with all respect to them, I still see us wanting to blow them out of the water. We need to blow them out of the water to be able to get our starting boots involved. Obviously, you've got Hakim Ziyech starting and you're going to get quite a few big names starting as well because they need to start getting more on it. They need to start getting more on it. And I can promise you that Tuchel, as an individual, is someone that has to win the FA Cup this season. I won't be shocked if they told him at the top board level that, we've gone quite a few years without a trophy. Now we need to pattern one. You understand? Because you know how Chelsea operates. We've gone one season without a trophy. When was last? How many? I know it's happened in the past. It's happened in the past, but Chelsea are a club that win trophies so many times this season. Yesterday, when I was talking to Matisse, big up to Matisse on the channel, and I was doing the what's it called? The tier list and everything. I was talking about all the different managers we had at that football club. They were winning trophies on a consistent basis. Antonio Kante had a bad season. He still won the FA Cup as well. The next season, we pop round. We won the trophy under Sarri. Lampard comes in. We missed the trophy slightly, ever so slightly. But ever so slightly doesn't work for Roman Abramovich. Remember when Ancelotti got sacked in the tunnel? We need to start winning trophies. So tomorrow, I don't think he's just going to drop Emerson in, just be able to get him involved. I think he's going to play one of Alonso or Ben Chilwell. Maybe he could get Ben Chilwell in the cup so that he can gain a bit more confidence. But tomorrow, one thing that's for sure, XI is not going to be like a chop and change thing. I've heard shouts of Lewis Bate possibly getting into the 11, but don't be surprised. I mean, I'll be surprised to just see Emerson. Honestly speaking, I see more of a Chilwell, if anything.
Fair. I mean, it's a tricky one. Like I said, I think it's really difficult to predict, really. I would probably go for Chilwell. I don't know. I feel like if we're got, like you touched on earlier, we need to prepare for, what did you call it? The late February, early March?
Hell's Gate. Like stepping past Hell's Gate. I can't believe you might have clocked that reference as well. Hell's Gate was on the Undertaker's finisher. Did you not know that?
Oh
I
yeah, I
do.
already clocked that anyway. But we're still
You didn't acknowledge it.
breaking the
You know what I mean?
submission hold.
You might know. I love my wrestling, but yeah, we're going to enter Hell's Gate, and we need to be out of submission. We can't just get beaten into submission. So, like you said, we're stepping into that, and we need to prepare our players for that. So that's why I think tomorrow, even if we could start our best team tomorrow, obviously Kepa and them lot are playing, but at the end of the day, we need to be absolutely piping them properly because their goal scoring boots need to come on. They need to stop. They need to come on sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no, for sure. And with that in mind, I think starting Chilwell tomorrow is good because we need to feed him with a bit more of extra confidence in that. And that's why I think that would make sense. Hence why we're saying 2v1 on the Chilwell against Emerson situation. Then at right back, it's why I'm really not sure because Aspie definitely can't play. Whether it's right back, right centre back, he needs a rest. You know, the guy is getting on and started the last 3 games and even at times looked a little bit more tired already against Sheffield United, I thought, than in the games before that. But then it's just a question, do you stick with Reece James in there or does someone like Henry Lawrence or Livramento get into the side? What do you reckon about that one, Lewis?
Livramento, I don't see Livramento starting this game as well. He'd be one that maybe we bring off the bench, but I think it'd be Reece. Wait, both Reece James and Azpilicueta played that last game.
Yeah,
so that's a bit
and against Spurs as well.
So I feel maybe you go for Azpilicueta just so you have a bit of leadership in that back four as well. It does make sense, and plus, as Azpilicueta's got the longevity about him, where he probably still would be fit and in decent shape for the next game if needed. Plus, 5 subs you can rotate if necessary, and we're saying Livramento would be a good bench option, so I'd go for Azpilicueta.
All right, that's an interesting one because I would have said probably more Reece because he's played less under Tuchel so far, just for that reason. The leadership. To be fair,
Reece James has been earmarked as a potential leader for the future as well. So to a point, it could work.
It's true. That's a true point as well. I'm struggling with that one. Dammy, help us out. Who do you think will play right back?
Like I said, the thing with right back, if we deep here at the end of the day, like why Livramento? Why we I don't see Tuchel. I mean, I may be very wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? I may be very, very wrong, but I don't see him starting to introduce all these different men because at the end of the day, Reece James, I know he played the last game, but how many games has he played under Tuchel so far? We've not really seen a proper right back. We've been seeing Callum Hudson-Odoi play as a right wing back, and it's been absolutely phenomenal. So I won't be shocked to see Reece James playing at right back tomorrow, so he can get into the string of things and get used to Tuchel's instructions a bit more because that was really only his first full game under Tuchel, wasn't it? If I'm not correct,
No, he started Spurs as well, bro.
Reece James, that was his second proper. See, this is what I mean. I've not even drank my second cup of coffee today, but that was like his second proper game under Tuchel. So I just feel like at the end of the day, we're going to play with a right back. Yeah, Azpilicueta is probably going to get arrested because he's been playing at that RCB position recently. Livramento, the thing is, right now, that FA Cup, like I keep saying, I know I'm not saying Livramento could just step into the team and actually take us to the next level, but I don't think Tuchel is going to do the same thing. I think he's going to let these players continue to play together because it's not like there are quite a few days before the game against Newcastle. You've got Thursday night, then you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You've got 3 days before that game, and that game is at night as well. So by the time we add up all the times and everything, it's probably about 4 days of space on 96 hours of time. Mathematically, I'm not wrong. I'm not sure if that's correct, but let's just call it 3 days, 3.5 days. Let's call it 3.5 days. So they've got quite a lot of time at the moment, so I don't see why we need to rest too many of these players. We need to make a big statement. A big statement. That's what we need to do right now. This is not the time to start introducing, as much as for example, everybody knows my love for Lewis Bay. I love Lewis Bay so much, but I think I will have to give it to these men so that they can gel a bit more, try a new formation. Because like I said, what's the essence of trying out a new formation and some new, possibly changed up tactics with younger players who are not going to play the next game? You don't benefit anybody too much, apart from them getting a bit of experience. So I think Reece James is going to start this one, if you ask me.
I reckon you could be right there. I reckon you could be right. Obviously, sorry, Lewis, to outnumber you again. I will say this though: Livramento has trained with the first team squad today, so it's not like he's not part of it at all. I don't think it will start, but I wouldn't be totally surprised if the result allows it if he comes off the bench.
I agree with that as well. Yeah.
So let's hit Reece James there as the right back. And then I'm not even going to give you the option because Tuchel literally confirmed that Kante will start. So let's just chuck Kante on there as well. The question just is, first of all, I guess in terms of formation. And then the second question is in terms of, well, formation in a sense of do we have a midfield 2 or do we have a midfield 3? I don't think Tuchel will go to a midfield 3 at the moment, personally. I know Dami touched on a 4-3-3. I don't know. The way he spoke about Kante being by far the best as his double six, I think he won't start Kante in his first start and play him as a single six. I will be very surprised by that. I think it will. I don't know 100% on the formation yet, but I think it will be a midfield 2 anyway. Well, what are the consensus? Dami, what do you think? Midfield 3, midfield 2?
Midfield 2 makes more sense, simply because at the end of the day, with Tuchel has always been the manager that likes to progress the ball with 5 players. So if you've noticed, a lot of people, naturally, with a 4-3-3, it looks normal. Do you know where I'm coming from? It just looks normal because, what did I just say? Did I say 4-3-3? With a 3-4-3, see, I need to drink coffee, man. I need to drink coffee. With a 3-4-3, yeah, with a 3-4-3, at the end of the day, it's very natural to have the 2 midfielders and the 3 centre backs to progress the ball. It forms almost like a squared off triangle of some sort. Tuchel always progresses the ball with 5 players in order to beat the opponent press. If the opponent dedicate 5 attackers to try and break down the passing lanes in between all those individuals, and obviously the goalkeeper, which forms like a 6-person, then they're committing way too many people, which would in turn just leave us to lofting the ball forward to our other 5 attackers. Because if you even see our heat map, it's almost like our thing is detached. Obviously, the spaces in between the lines are very, very minimal. But Tuchel would like to progress the ball with having 2 midfielders and 3 players in the back line. So I'm expecting to see a 4-2-3-1 tomorrow. I'm not the biggest fan of a 4-2-3-1, but at the end of the day, I'm expecting to see something like that. If we don't do that, don't be shocked if we see a 4-2-2-2 as well, because that's an option and that's something he's used quite a few times in all the different clubs he's played at. So once again, this is why I say that we don't really know, and he could even shock us tomorrow and play 3-4-3-2. So this is the thing. This is not like, with Lampard, it was easy for us to actually come to conclusions on specific formations and specific tactics because we know Lampard's flow was kind of like the baby. It doesn't change. The man at the end of the day will come into the cut. If he won the match with a specific formation, he sticks to that formation till he loses, he changes it again, and we keep on going. So with Tuchel, I'm not too sure. We might be overthinking it in the grand scheme of things, but hey, this is the interesting part of having a tactical manager. I don't claim to be as good as Tuchel for management. He's been in the game for 15 years. That's 3/4 of my life. You get me? So at the end of the day, I'm just looking at those situations. I'm just trying to say, possibly, definitely, I think it will be 2 midfielders for sure. I'm not too sure it's going to be a 4-2-2-2 or a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, actually. I think if Havertz was fit, which obviously, by the way, guys, he isn't, or he wasn't at least pictured in training, so it will be, very unlikely, in my opinion, for him to, feature, I guess, if he's not pictured in training, right? If he was, available, I would be very confident that he would be a 4-2-2-2. But I think like this, unless he plays Pulisic as the second striker, which he could, I could see it. I think then it just depends on. I'm still not sure whether he will like Ziyech so much as a right winger. I don't think Tuchel is that big a fan of that. So he will either play him as a right inside forwards in a 3-4-3 or play him as a 10 more often than not. So I guess that is the tricky one. But Lewis, what do you think, formation wise? Midfield 2, midfield 3.
Yeah, it'd be midfield 2. Like the midfield 3 already said, it don't really suit enough of the midfielders in our squad. So yeah, I'd go midfield 2.
Exactly. And then I guess who is that second midfielder next to N'Golo Kante? I'm very confident that it will be Billy Gilmour. But do either of you disagree with that?
Nah, gotta be Billy Gilmour. It'll talk him the same case of chances. He ain't really gonna get much other game time in the next few games other than now. So it makes sense to use him while we can.
Exactly. What about you, Demi?
Sorry, my internet sort of froze. What do you say?
Whether you think it's going to be Billy Gilmour next to Kante.
Oh, yeah, Billy, of course. I think, because thing with Billy is like, obviously, I know he's a youth player. Definitely, I think he's a youth player. But for me personally, this is someone that Tuchel obviously reads. And when you speak, thing is, I don't want to take any, I'm not going to make references to that. But at the end of the day, when he's addressing Gilmour, if we read in between the lines, he addresses it from a tactical perspective as well. So that obviously means he's thinking about how he could possibly implement it moving forward. So I won't be surprised to see him tomorrow because that also kind of makes sense from a midfield perspective. Jorginho and Kovacic have been playing quite a few of the games, and I think they should be doing a bit of resting. I know I'm countering my own point because I literally just said they're 3 days in between. But hey, Gilmour and Kante is not a bad thing to have because that's something you can actually see on the game-to-game thing as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would certainly agree with that. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't even hit 100 likes yet. So go down below, smash that bloody like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, check out these two dons. Of course, Carefree Lewis G and the Grand Dam are both down in the description below. Just click their @ and subscribe to their channels. Both of these need more subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to them, make sure you do that right now. But yeah, that's the back 4 done. That's our midfield 2 done. And I guess the question is what happens in front of that? Obviously, we know Hakim Ziyech will start again. Thomas Tuchel did confirm that. The question is, where does he start? Where does he start? Obviously, I would agree with Tammy that I think most likely we're going to play a mix of 4-2-3-1 and 4-2-2-2 tomorrow. I think in terms of formation, that's probably the most likely. But let's just claim it right now as a 4-2-3-1, and whoever the 10 is will push up next to the striker probably quite regularly. So who do we think that 10 is going to be? Who do we think that 10 is going to be? Lewis, what about yourself? You know, like as we touched on Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic, does Timo Werner play again? Does Mason Mount play again? What do you think?
No, Werner and Mount need to be rested for this one. I think I'd be surprised to see Giroud play this one either, to be honest. I feel this looks like another Tammy game up front. Tammy will definitely be up front, I do think that. In the middle, Hakim Ziyech and Christian Pulisic, I think, as well, because he's missed a couple games too. So it'd be a good chance to get him back into the squad. Yes, just either on either side the wings as a 4-2-3-1, or maybe both as the cams in a 4-2-2-2. Or do you have Pulisic playing as that second striker under Tammy?
Yeah, that's the tricky one, because if it is a 4-2-2-2, I see Ziyech as the right-sided player. If it's a proper 4-2-3, sorry,
I say 100.
Yeah, and if it's a 4-2-3-1, I think he's more of the cam, if that makes sense. And that's why it's difficult to judge depending on what formation. So
because we haven't seen him use Ziyech in it, you know what I mean? We haven't seen him use Ziyech that properly as well. So yeah.
It's a tough one. I would say let's just make it a bit simpler. Let's not. Although I would also, no. You know what? I'm making this call now. It's my stream. I must say 4-2-2-2 is what we're gonna build this formation in right now. Okay, let's do that. So we're gonna have 2 wide 10s or 2 wingers, whatever you want to call them, and then kind of a front 2 where one of them will drop deeper to act as a 10 at times, while the other one will more whose job it will be more to like go deep every now and again. So let's do that. Then the 2 wingers. Who do we think? Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi or
Pulisic?
Okay, so you don't think it will be the second striker?
Oh, no, we're going Pulisic second striker. Yeah, Hudson-Odoi on the left. Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense to me as well. Dammy, what about yourself? Because Hudson-Odoi didn't start Sheffield.
Yeah. I think he's probably going to try and work out that chemistry between Callum Hudson-Odoi and Reece James on that side. So we might possibly end up seeing Callum Hudson-Odoi. That's a possibility. So yeah, we might as well chuck him in too. You know what I'm saying? But you're saying Ziyech is going to play. We're going to play 4-4. We're going to play 4-2-2. That what you're saying?
Yeah.
So Ziyech is going to play on that right hand side, is what you're thinking as well. Yeah, Callum can play on the left. 100%. Yeah. I can hear that. I can hear that as well.
But then I would just type all these men up. I think the rest of the team is kind of self-explanatory then. Because obviously up top, like Lewis touched on already, Werner probably could do with the rest. Giroud hasn't been good whenever he's played so far this season. So, and Tammy hasn't played. So I guess Tammy up top. So that's the team that I think all of us have agreed to now, kind of, with Ziyech on the right of that, front 4, shall we say. Callum Hudson-Odoi on the left of that front 4, shall we say. Pulisic as a mix of a 10 and a second striker alongside Tammy Abraham. I would be incredibly happy if we played with that team. I would be very confident that we'd beat Barnsley with that team. And I'd just be excited. I would be a little bit upset almost if we went with a different formation again against Newcastle, because that kind of team just excites me. That excites me. If we can trust our midfield enough to handle the kind of maybe gaps that would be created between the attack and the midfield, I think this could be such a potent team. I don't know what you guys think, but Dammy, what do you reckon?
I think with anybody we play with, in the grand scheme of things, we should be potent. You know, I'm coming from. I'm like anybody that lined up for this club should be potent. I just feel like my own concern. This is why I keep stressing about playing a strong team, because they need to start scoring some bomber rascal goals. You know what I'm saying? They need to start scoring some bombastical goals. We're not getting enough of that from the front line. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why I just feel in the grand scheme of things, yeah, look at that. You've got Ziyech, Hudson, Pulisic, and Abraham. Calm. Do you know what I'm saying? That can even shift into a 4-2-3-1. Do you know what I'm saying? That can shift into a 4-2-3-1. If you look at it, you can play Callum on the right, Pulisic on the left, Ziyech down the middle, and Tammy in front. You can play Pulisic as an off striker with Tammy Abraham as well, with Callum and Ziyech right in behind. So there are multiple, and this is the thing about Tuchel. Things can change, all those different things. So at the end of the day, we just need to look at now. Yeah, Havertz wasn't pictured in training, so I'm not sure if he's fit. I mean, Zach did mention him possibly playing that he could be fit as well, but I don't know. We'll see how things unfold tomorrow. But 100%, whoever we play tomorrow, it should still be patterned. You know what I mean? It should be patterned. And like I said, this is why I keep stressing on us playing that strong team. They need to start patterning that chemistry up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think we just need to start. First of all, I said this before the Sheffield United game as well. And yes, we scored 2 goals, but again, 1 from the penalty spot. And at least it was a kind of forward in Mason Mount scoring. But we need to get these forward scoring. We've scored 5 goals under Thomas Tuchel now. 2 of them have been Jorginho from the penalty spot. 1 has been Alonso, 1 has been Azpilicueta, plus their Mason Mount one, right? We need to get these forward scoring. I know Havertz, Werner, they won't play tomorrow. Probably, maybe we're wrong. You know, we'll see. But we need to see a Pulisic goal if he plays. We need to see a Hudson-Odoi goal. We need to see, a Tammy Abraham score. We need to see these things. Thomas Tuchel needs to make these things happen. And I'm not saying, if it doesn't, it's all this bad and whatever, and I'm going to criticize Tuchel for it. That's not what I'm saying. But still, ideally, if we want to kick on and we want to have a really successful second half of the season and also do well in the Champions League and possibly get past Atletico Madrid, as much as that will be very difficult, that's part of the thing that needs to happen. Clean sheets like we have had recently and not actually an opponent score against us. Just really guys manage that. Is brilliant, when you play Atletico Madrid, but you also need to score. And especially you need to be clinical because they won't allow you many chances, will they now?
Exactly. It's all meant to be build up to the Atletico game, in my opinion. Bunch of little tests against smaller opposition, but then you're playing the low block to end all low blocks in Atletico Madrid. Only thing is, we need to be clinical. We still aren't clinical, but we move. It's 190 minutes. Tammy will do a masterclass in Romania or something, and we move.
And also, I want to say something about that as well. Like something that Zach brought up that was really, really nice as well. Because obviously, I've been one of the people that have been pushing for we need to be clinical. I've been driving that train very, very hard. You understand? I've been driving it in 5th gear. I've not slowed down about the whole clinicality thing. But he also brought it to my attention that at least to have a squad that can score goals from different positions too. I don't think that's something we should forget about. It's nice to see your attack pumping in the goals and getting all the finishes, but the fact that we could possibly get a goal from the right back or from maybe the centre back is also a really good thing to have. I don't think we should underestimate the value of having that, but definitely in the grand scheme of things, Atletico Madrid, you're probably going to get 5 chances, and out of those 5, 1 or 2 are going to be clear cut. So that's why I keep insisting on that. I mean, I swear I've said this like 6 times on this stream already, but that's why I kept insisting on playing this quality of squad that we do so that they can all get that boost. They can all get their shooting boots on so we can score a bit more goals. Because like you said, Atletico Madrid are not a fuck about in any way, shape or form.
Honestly, like when we initially were drawn against them, I won't lie, I thought, yeah, Barca, Real Madrid, they've just had a poor start. They were a bit hampered by the whole, obviously, Champions League tournament. I guess Real Madrid actually were knocked out before that, but Barcelona, then they obviously got battered like the 8-2 by Bayern Munich, and things were just not good. But look at it now, we're in bloody February and still Atletico Madrid are like 10 points clear at the top of the league with games in hand. Like, that is a madness. As much as people might not rate La Liga, to be 10 points clear with 2 games in hand over Real Madrid and Barcelona is mental. Like, it's honestly mental. Fair play to them. And the fact that Barcelona let Luis Suarez go to them for next to nothing is probably the most ridiculous transfer that has ever happened. That's like us. That's like us giving, I don't know, Kante to Manchester United for 15 million. Like, honestly, what the hell?
Yeah, their transfer activity the last 5 years has been a madness.
It really, really has. But obviously, we've spoken through the team, shall we say. What do you expect from the game? Obviously, Lewis and I touched on it already. We had actually a Barnsley fan in the chat who said, like, yeah, he doesn't actually expect them to sit back like crazy and think they will try and go for it because they don't have that much hope, regardless, whichever way they do it. And they said that he actually thinks their press has improved. Obviously, since we last played them and battered them, they've actually changed manager. They had an Austrian manager. They don't anymore. So that can only be better for them.
Okay, that's excellent.
Has he done well?
He's just absolutely dropped Sterling on his arse on a 1v1. That's ridiculous. That's gonna get clipped, bruv. Because
we game is going on now. Well. Oh yeah, Swansea and Man City are playing, in it.
Yeah, Swansea City. Some Walker cross found its way into the net, but no, that was a dirty 1v1.
Very good. Better than Joe Gomez already. Then better than Joe Gomez already. Then. Or Fabinho, for that matter, because I mean, Sterling, for the most part, tore Liverpool an absolute new one.
He chunk slammed his ass. I can't be asked. Oh my days.
But yeah, now what do we expect from the Barnsley game? Because obviously, what I didn't quite fully realise, if we win tomorrow, we're already in the bloody quarterfinals. That means we're 4 wins away from the title, which is, that's when you need to start thinking about it. And we also need to consider a few fairly big teams are out already. I say a few. It's kind of only Liverpool, isn't it? Is the Spurs still in it?
Yeah, they are still in it.
Let me check. So the only real big team that's out is Liverpool. Yeah, Spurs Everton play tonight as well at 8:15. So one of them will be out. Obviously, Man United in extra time yesterday, scraping past West Ham after apparently a Declan Rice howler. Didn't watch it, but that's what Twitter said. So not what you want to see. I guess maybe it is what we want to see if we're not going to sign Declan Rice, I guess. But what do we expect from the game? Realistically, we have to get an easy dub, right? Realistically, we have to get an easy dub. Hopefully, we get a few goals. But what you saying on score predictions? I'm gonna say, just gonna go first before I get you guys' thoughts. I'm gonna say 4-0. I'm not gonna go like crazy, like 6-0 or whatever. I would hope for that, but I think I'm gonna go for a 4-0. I want to see a few goals. I want to see a few good performances. Even if we rotate the squad actually quite a lot, I want to see a few goals. And what else I want to see, ladies and gentlemen, is 100 likes. We have over 200 people watching and no 100 likes. We're 18 away, so smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to, put something in the chat that you really want me to read out, because otherwise I might miss it, do use the super chat function. But of course, you don't have to, or become a member, Join button is down below. But Dammy, what do you think? Score prediction.
Class. We need to clean the floor of these man. You get me? We need to absolutely touch them up and dismantle them wherever the hell we're playing. So for me personally, look at the situation. I'm not a 6-0 thing again, fam. We need to be patterning the 6-0 thing again. That's what we need to do, fam.
All right, there you go. Lewis, what about you? 6-0, 4-0? Dodgy? What are you saying?
I don't know if Barnsley, I can't even be asked with this team. Yeah, I don't know if Barnsley will play. Now, the only reason why I got to 6-0 was because they ends up just going out there and just saying, fuck it, we're 2 or 3-0 down. We'll just go all out for it. It should be something similar to that. I just want to see us pipe them and have the game done early so we can rest players that we need to rest. That's the only thing I care about with cup games like this. This will be a W. Whether Kepa tax comes into effect or not, I guess we will just have to wait and see. But he made a few good catches against Morecambe, so remontada might be inbound. You never know. Just get a solid, convincing win and get it done early. That's all I'll say. But 4-0, I'll say that.
Exactly. And Lewis has touched on this a few times already. The earlier we get the goals, the better, because we have 5 subs in the cup. If we will put some youngsters on the bench, who knows? But the earlier we can just stop this, and if we put any youngsters on the bench, we can take someone like Kante off again after an hour. We can take a Pulisic off after an hour, even the first half, maybe. With his injuries, you don't want to overdo it, especially when you're comfortably in the lead in the FA Cup. So the earlier we can get things done, the better. It's all well and good winning high, but don't do it like a Morecambe when we only score all of the goals in the last 15 minutes. That's all well and good, but the performance also needs to go along with it. I say needs to. At the end of the day, it's a cup game, so what really matters is getting through. Well and good, but we also need to use this as a bit of a confidence booster, get a bit of more momentum going. Not that we don't have enough momentum as it is, but I think we just need to, get some more positive things going, because like Dammy said, Hell's Gate is coming. Hell's Gate is well and truly coming. And, we don't have... What was that guy's name? Teddy Long or whatever, who made Hell's Gate illegal?
Yeah, I remember. 9 days. That's when I first got into WWE as well. That's a throwback.
Exactly. That was the heydays. That was the heydays. My heydays, anyway. Well, it wasn't about in the WWF, but it is what it is. Our team says, do you think Tuchel might start Timo for his confidence? I don't, but what do you two? I mean, obviously, we went through our team.
Confident anyway. He just won man of the match against Sheffield United. It is literally just put the ball in the back of the net. That's the only thing he's lacking. Everything else, though, he's performing better than he's been performing in the last month or two. So, yeah, I don't think it's a confidence thing. It's just when that ball finally hits the back of the net, maybe he'll start hitting the back of the net a bit more. Yeah,
that is true. Dammy, what about you? No Timo tomorrow, yeah?
I mean, if he wants to get him involved, I'm not too pressed because, like, it's Barnsley. Timo can pop goals against Barnsley. You understand that? Just scoring a goal against someone can kickstart anything. So I don't even mind.
Go on.
You don't know the music. You might not even know the song. Never mind. But anyways, I don't really mind, innit? So I don't really mind. At the end of the day, that's how the situation is going to be. If he wants to play, if he needs to get him involved, then he should. Because once again, for everyone that scores tomorrow, the more the confidence builds, and we need to get our goal scoring boots need to be on before the 20th of February. That's what I got to say.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Dan. That's the thing. But my Timo situation is he did score against Morecambe and it didn't change nothing. So I'm not sure whether scoring against Barnsley will change anything. And then when he played against,
isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't even give him a bloody penalty against Luton, and he couldn't even score that. After the Sheffield game, saying, "Yeah, did you see what happened against Luton? Maybe I shouldn't be taking penalties at the moment anyway." Which, as much as that was funny and kind of like sweet, if you want to call it that, it was also not exactly the confidence I want to hear of my striker. That he's kind of saying, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't take penalties at the moment." I'm like, "Are you sure, bro? You sure?"
I also kind of understand it because he's got no reason to be in that state anyway. Plus, you can't just stat pad penalties and hope to get away with it because everyone will just call you a penalty merchant.
I'd rather him be a penalty merchant than a no goals merchant. So I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'll give you that at the least.
Exactly. But we're going for an hour and about 13 minutes. So, Dammy, do you have any final thoughts ahead of Chelsea picking up, taking on the big? What is their nickname? Does anyone know Barnsley's nickname? Do they have one?
Don't even. Nah.
I've just seen the comment. Oh
Hatters? No, that's Luton. I ain't got a clue.
I remember saying that as well. I was so angry that day, fam. I think that's one of my prime. That's one of my prime. Out of my prime.
I can't be asked.
That was one of my prime things, and I said that genuinely as well. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Hey, you're angry, bruv. What was that? The Arsenal game? I don't blame you, bruv.
I can't even remember, fam. But that's it. Now, when seeing it back, that was hella funny, fam. That is so funny.
It is funny, bro.
Moving forward, at the end of the day, we're looking at the whole situation at hand. I'm just like, tomorrow. You're asking my thoughts on tomorrow, yeah? Just before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Basically, I want us to pattern them up nicely. Do you know what I mean? Package them and send them off in a small little box. Score a crap ton of goals and absolutely shank them up. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I need us to do to them tomorrow because we need, like I keep repeating, to start scoring goals. Nice for us to have goals from other places. The fact that we can actually get those goals without our front three scoring, that's quite good as well. But, do you know what would be better? If these men scored too. So we need to start getting involved in the goals more. So that's all I've got to say.
Yeah, exactly. And as Eric just put it in the chat, what do you reckon, Demi? Top 3 finish that possible? After
100.
Easy.
100%. I didn't say easy. I said 100. I didn't say easy. I said 100.
No, but I mean, it's still way doable. I think everything other than first right now is all up for grabs this season. It's just about being consistent. But we always said we have the team for it. It's if the system's good. System wasn't good until a few weeks ago. Now we're sorted.
Exactly. So, Lewis, any final thoughts out of tomorrow? Like Dammy, and obviously we touched on that question, Eric. And if anyone, by the way, still has one question or something that you want to throw in, use the Super Chat function if you fancy it. Become a member if you want to with the join button underneath. Subscribe to these two legends. That'd be sick. The ads are down in the description, in the first line of the description. And smash the bloody like button. 9 likes away from 100. Make that happen right now. Go down below, smash that like button. It doesn't cost you any money, barely cost you any time, as I always like to say. But Lewis, final thoughts.
Just someone have a stat pad sesh tomorrow. Get that W, get early so we can rotate and rest players. Let's move on to Newcastle and let's smack up Bruce Ball.
There you go. There you go. And I can't really add much more. We just need to get that dub, like Dammy said, like Lewis said. We need to get that dub, hopefully with a good bit of rotation so everyone stays fit, because people can't underestimate the way Tuchel has us play football is extremely tiring. You know, it takes it out of the body, as Tuchel says it. And I thought that was good as well from in the press conference. It's not just about fresh legs. It's also about fresh minds. You know, that is a positive. Football is not just played with your body. Football is also played with your brain. And if your brain don't be working, you can be as fit as however fit you want. If your brain don't clock it, it's not gonna go well. It's absolutely not gonna go well. And that's how howlers happen, by the way. That's how individual mistakes happen, by the way, when the brain's not quite there. You know, I mean, the foot isn't telling him to like kick it into his own goal, is it? So that's what happens. You know, what Will has said. Big up the panel. Big up to you two guys. Thank you for coming on, Lewis and Dammy. Like I said already, there's links are down in the description. Subscribe to them right now. Ideally, subscribe to them right now. Both of them, of course, if you haven't already. Smash the like button if you haven't already. I appreciate every single one of you that has tuned in. But yeah, subscribe. Drop a like. I'll see you again. Maybe, if depending on how tomorrow goes, maybe I'll do a player ratings after I'm done with my live review on Blues Fans TV. Otherwise, I'll see you on Friday with Ellie at 5 p.m. UK time, I think. So let's do that again. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea. And I'll see you next time.